Hey, Dr. Mary Rensa here. I'm thinking about the fork in the road, so there's times in our professional life where we just think like, I see two options here, which one should I take? I feel like I'm at a place where I might go this way or that way with professional development. Maybe I'll do something new, maybe I need to learn something to keep going or build a new skill to keep life interesting, right? So, sometimes we have that proverbial fork in the road moment, right? And so it's something to appreciate, to acknowledge. Yeah, this is the moment. I need to kind of stop and think about it. So what's your fork in the road right now? What are you thinking about? What do you wonder, hey, I want to know more about this or that, and I'm thinking maybe taking a courageous step and looking into something if you need a new certificate or skill, or you've always had this idea, or the world is giving you this idea, like, you could use your strengths toward this. So if you're thinking like, hey, this might be a fork in the road moment, here's some tips. I have, I have a list for you. So number one, think about your personal strengths, that you could use and dig deep with so that you can get to the next level, or you can, go down that, that proverbial fork in the road, so you might take a turn, you might take a detour from where you are. What are the strengths that you have that you don't use every day, or that are really, that could be polished, something that you don't acknowledge, you have this strength, but it could be used more and more, right? So that's one thing. If you don't know how to find your strengths, reach out, just DM me, because there's something called Clifton Strengths. There's a lot of ways to find your strengths, but once you live in your strengths or clarify your strengths, it just makes which kind of fork in the road to choose a little bit more easier, because oh, I'm good at this. Like, this is one of my strengths, so if I live in this structure, then things are easier, right? So you want to live in your strengths. It makes life easier. You can work kind of top of your game, right? Okay. The other thing is just watch your narrative, because a lot of times we tell ourselves stories. I've always done X profession. I haven't, this fork in the road is showing me like maybe I go this way, but I've never done it before. So the fork in the road sometimes it's okay, it's all right. It just kind of gives you pause. You're thinking about something new. You actually absolutely have to brain prime, I like to call it. So you have to give your brain extra support if you're thinking about doing something new, because the brain is already really busy and managing the whole body, right? So watch the stories that you tell yourselves about what you've always done, what you can do, because sometimes they're just stories and that you can just rewrite that story. Like, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to learn how to do it. I'm going to get a growth team and surround people, put people around me that can help me and support me and keep me accountable, because that can really help to encourage change. The next thing is, if you're thinking about the whole fork in the road, like which way should I go, you want to think about your relationships, like who can lead you or guide you. Who's a couple steps ahead of you down that fork in the road. You could call and have coffee or tea with 10 minutes, just when I have 10 minutes of your time. You ask people that, a lot of times, people like to talk about themselves. So you just say, like, how did you get there? What was your path? A lot of times it becomes very clear. Okay, the next thing is to clarify your values. So if you know exactly what's really important to you, it makes it so clear where you should put your time and energy, right? So if you're not sure how to clarify your values, we do that in Brain Fresh, so just reach out. I'm glad to help you with that. We have a course, we walk you through it, so that we can learn how to align with our strengths and our values, because things just feel better when we're in that zone, right? So if you're feeling like, I think there is a fork in the road, I'm not sure which way I'm going to go, and you need to build your courage, a lot of times you just have to tap into your neuroscience abilities, what the brain needs when you're thinking about a change. So you have to prime the brain, get it ready for a change, and you have to align with your strengths and your values. And if you're not sure how to do that, I'm glad to support you. And then you design what you want next, and you keep iterating. It's okay to keep changing and growing and learning. Failures, quote unquote, they're learning steps. So there is a framework that we can walk you through in Brain Fresh and just help you. Yeah, I think if you're looking at that fork in the road, because sometimes you just get this little itch, like something's up and I'm ready for something new. And that's okay to kind of clarify what the process would be, so have more clarity of where to go, okay? I'm glad to empower you with some neuroscience strategies. They're very clear and easy to use, all right? So reach out and also follow me on YouTube, because I love sharing tips there too.